Lion is trying to become the circular economy solution for lithium-ion batteries. We build a hardware. We've built two machines that take in scrap lithium-ion batteries or spent lithium-ion battery crushed into what's called black mass, and we reproduce battery-grade cathode and anode material directly from our machines. So we can process 2 metric tons of black mass per day, which is the equivalent of about 56,000 iPhone 8s, to give some context. And we produce the material that can go straight back into lithium-ion batteries, the anode and the cathode, I guess the brain of the battery. So it's the only solution in the world currently that can do that in that period of time. Our machine, the GLMC1, is quite a large unit. It's about the size of a house, or 150 metric tons in weight, and it can take in any type of lithium-ion battery. So it can take all 6 battery chemistries in the market currently, and we can produce different types of NMC battery cathode material. So that's in a very quick overview. That is what we do as a business. We build the technology, and we license the use of our technology to our clients. We do that with a model that sees us sharing the profit to obtain our license fee. So the machine, we take an upfront payment for it. Then we deliver it, we build it and deliver it to our client site. And then we take a license fee in the format of a profit share, which is a percentage of the cathode material, the outputs that we produce. And we also help them to operate the machine by issuing a Green Lion engineer on site for the duration of the machine life. So that's briefly what we do. We have another machine that also recycles or rejuvenates LFP batteries, lithium iron phosphate batteries, which are quite popular right now and very hard to recycle. Correct. Yes. Yep. The ownership stays with us, and that's the way that we protect our IP, I guess. But fundamentally, we're trying to partner with our clients, lithium-ion battery recyclers, so that we can help them improve their profitability. Our machine, because our machine takes them up the value chain and to the production of cathode materials, cathode active materials and precursors, it means that they can jump up their profitability from between 4 and 10 times, which is really the problem we're solving. We're trying to make all battery recycling far more profitable, so then it happens more often, and we capture all of the spent batteries, and we can rely less on mining and put less of these into landfill. Well, there's a number of reasons. I guess that most importantly, these batteries are combustible, and the materials and the electrolyte actually can leak into the earth, so it's bad to dispose of them. On the other side, it's also these materials that batteries contain have a finite reserve, and some of them are running out within as short as 25 years. So, and of course, it's environmentally damaging to mine these materials. It's also sometimes mined in socially irresponsible ways in countries, and it has more than just an environmental impact to extract these from the ground. Elements like cobalt, mined in almost or predominantly mined in the DRC, where there's no regulation on the age of the miners, and it's heavily mined by miners and children. Yeah. So I think we should recycle these fundamentally, so that we don't have to rely on mining, and we don't damage our planet even further to extract the materials, or at least we can rely on them less. Yeah, absolutely. our the profile of our clients typically will be in two formats. They'll either be lithium-ion battery recyclers currently, and so that means that they are capturing spent lithium-ion batteries, working with the OEMs or collection facilities to capture these spent batteries, and they typically want to increase their profitability and the commercial viability of their plant. The other client profile is an interesting one, and which we're starting to have huge success with, which is lithium-ion battery manufacturers. So manufacturers will have a differing degree, I guess, of waste batteries that comes off their product line. And so we've actually onboarded one of the world's largest battery manufacturers, who will be putting a Green Li-ion solution on their production line to capture those waste products. Some of our clients are our first client and an investor, and good friends of ours is TES, Total Environmental Solutions, which has just been bought by SK. A very good Korean brand, or a huge conglomerate, and we like working with them because they are broadly spread across the globe with more than 40 operations. So it means that hopefully we sold one machine to them, and hopefully we can continue to produce good results for them, and they can buy our machines in different locations. Yes, absolutely. The market is certainly growing rapidly. We have an ever-growing dependency on portable storage, portable energy storage now, and consumer electronics. But we're also seeing a wave of electric vehicles coming into the market. So that's going to, by 2040, that will dominate the spent battery sort of feedstock, we believe. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly growing very quickly. It's today it is approximately $3.8 billion dollars worth of spent lithium-ion batteries, which is typically consumer electronics, and of course some larger energy storage units like ESS batteries. But we estimate that the market will be nearly 20 billion by 2030, and over 100 billion by 2040. So you can see the market's really growing rapidly, and it's so it's a little bit more than an important environmental issue to tackle. It's also a very large and lucrative industry.
So
Right. Well, in our instance, government regulation is actually helping our market increase rather than hindering us in any way. The application of things like the EPR legislation, the end of producer's life regulations, which means that all OEMs now in many countries, Singapore and Europe and I know Korea has has some similar legislation. It means that they must recycle their batteries. So that's of course pushing more demand for the recycling of them, and for technology like ours. There's further legislation that's going to be very, very useful to us, which is that some of the European Union countries are mandating that battery manufacturers must use a percentage of recycled materials. So again, it pushes, it sort of validates our business case and market. So in our instance, the regulations don't get in the way. They are actually helping us, which is a good thing. Yeah, I mean, Singapore is really trying to make some good pathways towards reducing their climate impact. and their carbon impact now. So that's positive for businesses like ours. Maybe what we haven't seen yet is some of these markets recognizing the fact that our machine is 100% closed loop and has a very low carbon footprint. So we are looking for jurisdictions whereby we can register the machine for carbon neutrality, and even maybe in the future some carbon offset or credits. So that's something that we're exploring now, and running what's called a life cycle analysis, so that we can prove that to our investors and our clients. Yeah, I think we've met investors in the traditional format. We've been introduced to some by other investors that believed in us right at the very beginning a few years ago. We've also picked up the phone, and I've done some shameful cold calling and whatnot. So we've met investors in all of the traditional formats. But certainly what's really positive is that there's a growing focus on climate tech, and there's a lot more climate investors, clean tech investors now around. I think that maybe in Singapore there's not so many. So hopefully Singapore catches up, and it allows the Singaporean clean tech ecosystem to thrive. We certainly probably receive more interest from places like Korea. We have investment, as you know, from a number of Korean organizations and European and American. So which is sort of the jurisdictions we see very focused on making a positive impact. Well, I personally, this is going off topic a little bit, but personally, I think that there should be breakthroughs in nuclear and other renewable energy formats, so that the batteries that we're trying to the batteries are just a bottleneck and a medium that is aiding the energy transition. So I find that we play a very important part in that piece of the energy transition. But the use of batteries and the use of electric cars and whatnot to offset carbon and reduce our carbon footprint is only valuable when we have cleaner energy to charge them. So I think that's really important. Personally, I hope we get some breakthroughs and some fast innovation in those areas. Oh, I think probably the only thing I should say is I wish I'd put on a shirt and tie and not worn a t-shirt. But Korea, on a serious note, Korea is taking battery recycling very seriously, and they're working really hard from an outsider's view anyway. They're probably doing a far better job than many countries in capturing the spent lithium-ion batteries, and I think that they understand the value of the materials in those batteries far more than many other countries. So I actually think they're doing a great job, and we feel quite privileged to have some strong connection through our investors and our clients to Korea.